Well, we're back for another edition of Bolton In. That's right. All thanks to the friendly team at Palmer Bet, and all thanks to these two legends all the way from Las Vegas. I say very good afternoon or evening it is in Vegas to Adam McGrath. Ads, how are you, buddy?
Great to be with you both again. Yeah, what a weekend of racing we had last weekend. Going to be very hard to live up to this weekend, but I really like the fields. I think some good horses to be following this weekend. So looking forward to going through it with you both again.
Hey, listen, you absolutely nailed it. You're spot on. I'm going to talk in a little bit more depth, but Laura Lafferty, as we say, very good afternoon to you, Laws. How good was the racing last weekend? It was just magnificent. Some of those finishes, it was quite amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, we all predicted it too, so it was really good to see it unfold the way it did. It was super exciting. I couldn't get off the couch. So hopefully, like Adam touched on, I don't think this week will be as exciting, but there's still a couple of really good races and horses that I'm really looking forward to watch.
Hey, listen, the George Ryder, it was an absolute cracking finish. Gringotts Fangirl, it was a head bob. The Rosehill Guineas, Broadside, Eliana, Via Sistina was enormous. Private Harry, Schwartz, Benedetta. There's so much to talk about, Ads. What was your highlight out of all those wonderful victories last week, mate? Because so many good horses running around and so many good horses will kind of press on to bigger and better things, I think.
To be honest, and I know we just both all mentioned it, I think 3 times there, was the finishes. I just went back just before knowing, obviously, we're going to do our preview for this weekend and took a look at the finishes. And Darren Flindell, I think, and everyone goes, "We've got it again. What a finish. We've got it again. What a finish." And he goes through it all. So unbelievable way for it all to end. I think there was a fair bit to follow. Via Sistina, obviously, was very good. I thought Faulkner Park lost no admirers. Your favourite horse at the moment, Aliana, I thought was good. I loved the ride from Tyler Schiller on Swift Falcon to get going. I've got so much time for jockeys that do that as well. Thought Fangirl lost no admirers either. And then what about the battle that we saw in the Golden Slipper? Take nothing away from the winner, but Woderton was good. Tempted, I think, was pretty unlucky in the run as well. So there's a lot to look at there. And then when we did take a look over across in Victoria, Schwartz was great, but the horse that we both were on first up and we both elected not to tip this time, which was correct, is still airborne. Jimmy Star is absolutely flying, and I can't wait till they get away from Moonee Valley next start because I'll be backing up again.
Yeah, I think there was a few people scratching their heads, weren't they, when they decided to go that way. I couldn't see Moonee Valley, especially the way the Valley's been racing the last kind of couple of months, to be honest. And only a few more meetings to go, I think, and then she shut up for a few years. Laws, I just want to come back to you. J Mac, we sing his praises. We know he's a superstar, but what a weekend and what a Saturday he had last weekend. And if Wodenton had have just got the bob in late, he would have had just an even bigger day. He's on fire, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah, and in particular, Fangirl as well. He just missed the bob as well, which was a hard watch for me who was on Fangirl. But yeah, gee, he's just flying. There would be a lot of pressure though as well, especially on days where there's like 5 or 6 group ones on one day. It's a lot of concentration for him and a lot of homework that he has to do that week, a lot of wasting and all that comes with it. I think when there's one group or a good race that you're looking forward to on that day, it's sort of is manageable. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, but 5 in one day would have been a really, really big day for him. Although he'd be used to it, but obviously done a really good job. It was great racing, and Via Sistina, it was a little bit of a tricky watch early. He was 3 back fence, I thought, but like horse right combination, he was able to win with her. Yeah, on Gale and Woodard was a little bit stiff at Bob, but overall he had a great day as he always does.
Hey, and talking about great days, from a tipping point of view, now, Ads, we were off. We jumped off broadside. We didn't want to take the shorts, but Laura was absolutely all over this. Fangirl, we were very close there too, a couple of us. The Tancred Stakes were all over Via Sistina, the three of us. Private Harry for you, Ad. Absolutely magnificent. And Schwartz, Laura, for yourself, which was sensational. So plenty of winners were had. You're chucking Shamwar as well. You're the king of the West, Ads, as we know, mate. There's plenty of winners coming out of this little podcast, Ads, isn't there?
Yeah, they certainly are. But as we know, and Laura's going to learn very quickly, you're only as good as your next tip. So we move straight on. We need to do the same again this weekend because we can be very quick to be told we're not very good.
Hey, absolutely. Let's have a look at the first of our Group 1s, which is the Tancred Stakes, Rose Hill over the 2,400 metres on Saturday. And the Palmerbet market, Dubai Honour is our favourite at $3.24. Bad, who was enormous first up for the Waterhouse Bot team, $4.20. Arapeo at $6. Duke de Sessa at $7.50. River of Stars at $11 and La Creek at $19. Laura Lafferty, I'm going to start with you. How do you see the Tancred Stakes for 2025?
Yeah, this will be a really interesting race, Matty. I think it's a really open race. I've been a little bit strategic in what my best bet and value bet here is today, only because the speed map for me is looking a little bit tricky. It's a extremely high pressure race. And so for that reason, I think some of the horses that are well in with a chance or in the market, I think will be, it doesn't map very well for them. So I've gone off the beaten track here. My value bet, I've gone with Duke de Sessa. Run well last start, is looking for the step up in trip. I think it would have been in Sydney for a while now. Obviously, Kieran having those dual stables, so he'll be well adjusted to Sydney life. And he's very versatile. Maps to be just in behind the speed. And if it's playing, Rose Hill is playing anything like last start, I think it possibly will be favouring on pace horses. But because of the speed map, I've just gone with those horses just in behind the speed because, like I said before, I think it'll be an extremely high pressure race. I really wanted to go with my best bet as with Vauban of Gay Waterhouses. I think it's just flying, but again, reluctantly not having that. I think it's carrying top weight, and it's only got one sort of racing style up front, and it might just undo it a little bit if there's a lot of pressure up front. It was a tricky one for me, but I've gone with Beyond Baker and Rachel King. I don't know how to pronounce that. You're going to have to help me, Matty, there.
Arapeo.
Ran just behind Vauban last start. Had a really nice prep and progressively gotten better and better. It's peaking once the 2,400 on Saturday, and I think it'll be ready to go on Saturday. It's just gone up in trip and up in grade, all prep, and I think hopefully Saturday is its day.
I'll tell you what, it is a cracking field, Ads, and William Haggis has got a pretty good strike rate when he runs them in Sydney as well. Vauban was enormous. Arapeo was good last start. Duke de Sessa. There's plenty of chances, Ads. I'm coming back to you now, mate. What are your thoughts? Because I actually reckon this is a really competitive race, as Laura just touched on.
Yeah, look, if I was going to take a quaddie, I'm still probably just taking the two in Dubai Honour and Vauban. Obviously, we're going to have one as our best bet, and then I need to find a little bit more value, so I'll leave one out. But I will add that Dubai Honour is one of my favourite horses. I think I've tipped it most times here. I've gone against it, though, because I just think the 2,400 is too far first up. When you go and take a look at this horse's career, the further it's ever won is 2,400 metres. And I think whether it's horses, whether it's running, if you're stepping out for the first time at your max distance that you've ever won, that's my question mark. This horse, when it won at Rose Hill first up 2 years ago, 2023, it won over 2,000 metres. And if this was a 2,000 metre event, I'd be going with Dubai on it all day. But that 2,400 changes it. So for me, I'm going with number 2, Vauban. This horse can carry a weight. We saw it carry 62 kilos in 2 of its last 4 runs at the end of last preparation. Really good run last time. I found it interesting. I remembered learning a little bit about Vauban going into the Melbourne Cups, and their biggest fear was if it got above about 26, 27 degrees, that this horse just absolutely wilted. It turned into nothing. Well, the other day when it won, it was about 33 degrees, I think. So I think this horse has adjusted now. I think Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott have put that polish on. You look this weekend, there's some rain scheduled in Sydney. The weather's going to be perfect. I think it just ticks all the way for Vauban to run a really good race. So I've gone with it over Dubai Honour, just that distance question mark for mine. I think they're the two. I think they're the only two in the race, to be honest. But since we need a value bet, at a bigger price. A horse that you and I have got a lot of time for is number 11, Warmonger. Just when looking at it, you go back to last preparation, Matty, and I'm not disrespecting this race because I do think it's a good one, but the Group 1s this horse has been in before are just much better. You go at Mackay Diva, it finished behind Mr. Brightside, Via Sistina in the Turnbull, and then raced in a Caulfield Cup. Well, there's not, full fields of those in this race. There's a couple of real good standouts, and then I think it's a pretty even bunch. So I just think Warmonger in this race, third up, 2,400 metres, can find a bit of a groove and be one that runs at bigger odds. But Vauban will be my best for this race.
Great call, mate. I tell you what, I'm all over Warmonger as the value bet as well. This horse was enormous last start. Like, just kind of made up plenty of lengths. So I reckon it's got a really good race in it. It struck a cracking race here, and it deservedly going to go around at a big price. But geez, it's the one I'll be chucking in for the quaddie leg just to try and get a little bit of value as well. And my best bet, I've actually settled on Duke D'Sess. I reckon this horse is airborne. Kieran Maher, Group 1s. We know his record. It's sensational. And this horse narrowly got beaten by a horse that I'm tipping a little bit later on in the show in the Australian Cup. I reckon this horse has got a heap of ability called Middle Earth. And this horse, Duke D'Sess, was just as good that day. So I reckon can take that Melbourne form up to Sydney and compete against the big guns. And I reckon Duke D'Sess might be able to get the job done. Another Group 1 for Kieran Maher, who is absolutely flying. Let's turn our attention down to the Vinery Stud Stakes. It is race 6 over the 2,000 metres at Rose Hill. And the favourite shorty here, Treasure of the Moment, goes to Sydney for the first time this prep, $1.55. Delici Boulevard, $8 for the Wallet team. Moving out at $9. Benegill at $10. Verona Rose at $13. Power of Opal at $19 and Real Class at $21. Ads, I'm coming back to you here, mate. Is it all one-way traffic? I say yes. I say this is like Via Sistina last week. This horse absolutely smoking at the moment, Treasure of the Moment, and I reckon will absolutely blow them away. There's the only question mark for me is obviously going that Sydney way.
Yeah, I mean, and that's clutching at straws. So I think she's just going to be way too good for him, to be honest. I'm agreeing with you. I think a Via Sistina type of mix, 9 starts, 7 wins, 2 seconds. And just going through her preparation, I mean, this is a horse that's won at 14, 16, 2,000, 2,500. I absolutely love that versatility. And I think that she won the Oaks at the end of last preparation, then has been able to come out and win over the 7 furlongs, win over the mile. I think the natural step up here to the 2,000 metres, I think she's just going to be way too good for him. So she'll be on top for mine. You mentioned Real Class. She has that. Real Class is actually going to be my value bet here as well. Take a look at number 4. Go back to its New Zealand form. Over 1,400 metres in a maiden. It was beaten 7 lengths. Then it comes out in a maiden over the 1,600. Just walks in. Barely gets in. 0.2. Gets a bit of a soft track, finishes 3rd in a Group 2. There is some rain predicted for Saturday, so there's your little advantage. Then goes to 2,000, can win a Group 2. So goes from 4 starts before beating 7 lengths in a maiden over 1,400 to winning a Group 2 over 2,000. I think the 1,500 in a Group 2 was just way too short for this horse. Gets out to 2,000 metres. As I said, maybe a little bit of rain around. I think Real Class can run a race at better odds. But for mine, it is all Treasure of the Moment.
Laws, are you in the Treasure of the Moment camp here too? All chips in?
Yeah, absolutely. Can't go wrong, I don't think. Comes in really well with the weights too, only 56 kilos. Yeah, I don't think there needs to be said much more for that. Maps really well as well. There's not much that goes forward. I think, yeah, he'll take the race by the scruff of the neck and yeah, not too much to be said there, I don't think. My value bet is Power of Opal. John Sargent, I tipped it a few weeks back, probably a little bit short for it a couple of weeks ago, but now on Saturday gets out to 2,000 metres. It's been crying out for 2,000 metres. It's had nice 2 runs last start over 14 and 1,500 as a warm-up, and I think you'll see a different horse on Saturday over 2,000.
Yeah, I love it, and I didn't even worry about a value bet, to be honest. I'm just going Treasure of the Moment. We'll just win this, but I'll be probably with you, Laws. I reckon Powers of Hope. I've got a little bit of time for this horse by Ocean Park. Further the better, but yeah, I just can't see anything beating Treasure of the Moment. Horse absolutely airborne, which is unbelievable to see. Hey, let's move along to Flemington, the feature of the day, the Australian Cup. And all of a sudden, with the return of Pride of Jenny and a great victory last week, there's a little bit of something in this race too on the weekend. And the pub event market has Pride of Jenny as our favourite at $3.10. Middle Earth was enormous first up, first run to Australia at $5. A Tissue at $7.50. Light Infantryman at $9. Zardozi at $9.50. Feroce at $10 and Deny Knowledge at $11. Laura, I'll come back to you. A little bit more speed, I reckon, in this race. And I'll be keen to get Ads' thoughts on this as well. Pride of Jenny might not have it all her own way. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I've really honed into the speed maps this week. I've got some controversial value bets and best bets. So yeah, I'm not with Pride of Jenny this week. After a bleed last prep, they always come back first up and run really well, and second up, especially after a bleed. Plus, as you touched on, the way it maps for her, I just think it'll be too hard. I'm against her. I'm shocked at how short she is. Deny Knowledge will be
Starting to sound like a tipster, Laura.
yeah, I'm getting a bit confident, aren't I?
She's laying them, Matty. I like this.
She'll be eyeballed the whole way. I'm not convinced after the bleed that she's proven herself this prep yet. So my best bet, I've gone with Middle Earth, Kieran Mars, super win last start in the prelude against some really good opposition. Although those good horses were resuming that day, wouldn't have been at their peak. I think this horse will strip fitter from the run. It is a back marker. I think it might suit some back markers. Obviously, as we touched on, there'll be some genuine speed in that race. And my value bet is Feroce.
Feroce.
By now, honestly. Obviously well documented, ran really well last start, 54.5 kilos. I think it'll run well over 2,000 meters. Loves the track, obviously. There were plenty of options to take this horse to Sydney, which they might still do, but I have a feeling they've kept it here for a reason for this race. So for that reason, Feroce is my value bet.
I love it. Great summation there. You're right, Ads.
It was good. It was good.
This was good. Hey, Ads, are you in the Pride of Jenny kind of bandwagon here, mate? Are you thinking, or what are your thoughts on this? Because
I'm in the Laura Lafferty bandwagon by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Look, I won't be going with Pride of Jenny. I mean, an amazing story. She's been all of the talk about coming back. She brings people to the races. So many positives there. But for mine, the bubble burst this weekend. I think the win was good last time. I didn't think it was amazing. Thought she had her own way. Thought she beat No K Field. For mine, it wasn't as brilliant. It's been talked up just because it was Pride of Jenny. But the one thing, and let's put the jockey hat back on for Laura, don't be beaten by what you know. Do not let Pride of Jenny get this all its own way out in front. If the jocks do that here, I'll be pulling my hair out. So something needs to go. I think there's more speed anyway. Deny Knowledge isn't going to allow that to happen. Craig Williams isn't going to allow that to happen. And there's a little bit more there as well. So I think her bubble will burst this start, and I think it'll burst quite big too. I think she'll be found out pretty late in this race. I'm going to go with a couple of back markers. Number 8, Zardozi, will be my best bet. And obviously it comes from that same race, beaten by Pride of Jenny. But this horse just loves the track. 6 starts for 2 wins, a second and a third. Actually ran the fastest 4-2 and 2 to finish in that last start, and the Peter Young as well. And I think the speed is going to suit her. We did see her come out and, of course, last preparation finished 4th in the Melbourne Cup. So the distance and pressure is no worry at all for her. So Zardozi will go on top. And then one of my all-time favourites, obviously my favourite horse, Cascadian's won this the last 2 years, but my other one that I follow when going to Flemington is a Tissue. And I think a Tissue's not going that bad at all. The run in the All-Star Mile was actually pretty good. Actually ran the second fastest last 200 of the race. That was including beating Mr. Brightside and Another Will in that race, and even Light Infantryman for that final sectional. So I think a Tissue's closing off quite well. Absolutely loves the track and distance. 5 starts for 2 wins, a second and a third. So I think those horses can be running on. Look, I hope I'm not wrong with Pride of Jenny, and she still puts in a really, really good performance, but I've got concerns, Matty.
I'm sticking fat with Middle Earth to get the job done, both you two. And I'll tell you why, because we interviewed Kieran Maher on the radio before this horse raced first up a couple of weeks ago, and he did say the horse is not fully screwed down, wound up, still good enough to come out and win. And I reckon this is a serious racehorse. They pay big money for this horse, and I reckon they want to win some big races, and this will be the start for mine. So Middle Earth on top. and happy to play around that $5 mark. And my value bet, you two might laugh at me here, but I'll tell you what, this horse was enormous at Flemington last start over the 1600 metres. Attrition from the Mitch Friedman team. He's got a knack with getting horses right for feature races. He's won a couple of Group 1s now, and I reckon this horse was really good. Go and watch a replay. Screaming out for the 2,000 metres, and I just reckon for a throw at the stumps, happy to play around Attrition. So that's the way I'm playing for the Australian Cup. Righto, let's talk all things. Where else are we punting around Australia on the weekend? Laura Lafferty, I'll come back to you. Laws, what else you got for us, mate?
Not very good at this in the last couple of weeks, so I wasn't going to do it this week.
Don't give up, mate. Just go harder.
I'll have another go. I've got Bossy Bonita at Flemington, race 4, number 6. Rose Hill, I've got Lazaroo, number 7, race 5. I actually tipped it last week, but it scratched in the Group 1 and won the Group 2. So I wasn't far off, but in the wrong race. They're backing up again on Saturday at Rose Hill. And Daggers, I've just thrown this one in. Trent and Natalie Busselton's race 7, number 7, but it is a tricky race. There's a few in that race that will be competitive, but thought I'd throw that one in. 3 this week, so surely one will go my way.
A great punter told me one day you can't win giving up. It's as simple as that. You just got to keep charging in, Laura. So don't worry about it. Ads, the King of the West, mate. You've been on fire, fair to say. No markets out as yet, but I know you're heading that way, aren't you?
Yeah, we were able to get the winner again last week with Watch Me Rock. She was incredibly strong, but filming a little bit earlier this week. Yeah, it was nice, wasn't it? So we don't even have acceptances yet. It's still wait. So follow it on social media. I'll make sure I tag in Palmer Bet. We'll get something up Thursday night or Friday morning.
Hey, I love it, the West Bets too, Laura, because I was actually at you wouldn't believe it, I was at a Neil Diamond tribute show. I don't want to say that out loud, to be honest, but I was at a Neil Diamond. And then you just wake up the next day and you forget about Perth, but I did. I had a little crack at Adam's Best Bet, a couple of little all-ups, and it's great when you just refresh the old account and there's a little bit more balance there on a Sunday morning. It's even better. Hey, listen.
All I heard was Neil Diamond.
Yeah. I actually know Neil Diamond too because my dad loves Neil Diamond. So
I grew up with Neil Diamond in my household. It's unbelievable. I knew all the lyrics. Everyone was cracking up. Oh, it was great. Had a great night. Hey, I'm having a crack on the weekend. There's a few I like. Flemington, race 6, number 8, Pisanello, Jamie Mellum in the saddle. This horse was good first up. It's about $3.20. I reckon that's a really good price. It's a winnable race. And then another horse that I've got a bit of time for at Flemington is race 7, horse number 15, Vestas. Resumes. There was issues, obviously, last start up in Queensland. I know this horse got some ability, and I reckon go back to that race. I think it was Melbourne Cup Day or Oaks Day down the straight, sideways that horse, and it was smoking. So I reckon Vestas with an outside barrier, I think that's where you want to be. I think it's got drawn barrier 13 or something. That's where I reckon you want to be. And then Rose Hill, this horse scratched from a crappy barrier last weekend. Race 7, number 7, Ostraka. You wouldn't believe it. I ran into some owners at a pub in Tasmania that had got this horse. So it's just how small of a world it is. And they said, no, we're going around next week and have something on because they tell me the horse is flying. And race 9, number 4, Walado. I thought that horse was enormous last start. Nearly led all the way. And I reckon it'll be hard to beat. And we'll do the same with J-Mac on the weekend. So that is the plays from around the country this weekend. It's a big, big day of racing. Rose Hill, Flemington, of course. It's always huge. And I don't know about you two, but I've really enjoyed the last 3 or 4 weeks. I think it's been enormous, hasn't it, Ads?
Yeah, I think it's been our most competitive carnival for a little while. We're seeing the good horses go around, but we're seeing more photo finishes than I can remember in Group 1. So it's been competitive and hopefully it continues.
Yeah, Laura, it's been sensational. Been some cracking rides, some great stories behind the scenes as well, hasn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And like Adam touched on, even the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place getters are all sort of coming out next start and winning and sort of in their right grades, whether it's a Group 2 or in a Group 1 the next start in their right race and distances. So yeah, it's really nice to follow them all the way through. I don't think other than Via Sistina, there's the dominant ones, but there's a really good pool of horses at the moment. So it's super exciting to watch.
No, it is super exciting. This weekend will be no exception. Download that Palmer Bet app, get involved, get your punters club happening. And as we always say, always think about what you're really gambling with and gamble responsibly. That is the key messaging. Laura, Ads, have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to catch up next week.
You too. Happy punting.
Thanks, you too.
What are you prepared to lose today? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.